I don't care about bucket caps, so someone's got to suffer. If you like watching videos where people make progress on stuff, this is probably not the right video for you. I don't really have many pelvises lying around. This is the scourge of humanity. Why be easy when you can just die? Woo! Wow, I'm Chewy Mew, and welcome to my channel, but more specifically, welcome to another Chewy Mew video, where today here I have a sort of in the works process of a custom Hasbro Spider-Man Origins not Cyborg Spider-Man, Iron Spider. I keep forgetting this guy's name, but yes, this is a sort of custom figure in the process. Basically, I'm just trying to add some articulation to this guy, which, spoilers, it was a big and horrible mistake, because, in the video I did, my top 10 figures of 2022, I showed, I put this figure on the list, and I said how the ball leg joints broke, and that's because, spoilers, they suck. The problem with them, if I can get this pin off here, the problem with them is that that the ball legs, because the way they don't work like regular figure ball joints, like my first ever Spider-Man figure here, where, I mean, those aren't ball shape, but you know what I mean, where they kick like this, then they kick like that, you know, and then they have a rotation in the thigh. The later Toy Biz figures have a ball shape, but basically it's the same articulation. But this figure has a weird joint, similar to like a lot of the Hasbro 2007 era figures. Like I have my Black Suit Spider-Man figure from Spider-Man 3, where the leg joints, they kick out fine, you know, normally like they're supposed to. But if you want to kick them forward, you got to rotate the leg like this, then kick it, then twist it. So you can't just, I mean, it does offer room to move back farther, but I mean, it still works the same. It's just a little less convenient, and that's because they didn't attach the ball leg, which the ball leg usually plugs in like this into the pelvis, but these ones attach up into the pelvis like that. So then, in order to compensate for it, the way the joints move are basically reversed, which it still works, it still functions, but then because on this figure, the joints are so tight and they're just kind of dumb, the peg, or like the pin that plugs into the pelvis, broke, and then the ball joint also broke, so I had to do some customizing to fix it, which it didn't work too good, and so I decided just to try and do a complete overhaul of it. And right here, from this pose, in midair, it doesn't look too bad. It looks kind of funky from the back, but it doesn't look too bad like it does currently. You know, it looks pretty decent. I decided to try customizing it. These are the original legs, and I tried taking the balls out. I did manage to do it. Then I tried drilling a hole to make these fit other legs, and long story short, nothing worked right. So, and you accidentally break the stand. That's not good. Once you actually straighten the legs out here and you line everything back up, the legs look kind of horrendous, if I'm being honest here. Obviously needs to be painted and stuff, but as far as it looks, it doesn't look the best. And that's because I figured, since the legs are broke, I might as well try just making a custom pelvis, because the pelvis joint inside broke too, so I was like, I'm just going to give up on that, you know? And I didn't super glue the top piece back. And I used this other piece here, so the ab crunch is a lot better, because before the ab crunch moved like this, like that was it, but now it has better movement. Attach this piece here and plug that in, and then it rotates, and that works. Not very good though. And my goal was to chop the pelvis in half and see if I could find a way to somehow take a pelvis, which unfortunately I don't really have many pelvises lying around. Why do these legs look different height? That's unfortunate. The pelvis just sucks, dude. That's the problem. It's terrible. I do have another pelvis here that is from the Scuba Spider-Man, in which I used some other parts to customize it. Unfortunately, the problem with this one is, again, these stupid McFarlane legs. I don't know why Toy Biz made such inconsistent joint peg sizes, because, you know, if they made all the same pelvises and sizes be consistent with each other, like even if the articulation wasn't identical, just leave the joints consistent and it would work. Like, I just super glued this one together and that'll work here. The pelvis is a little bit big here, and for some reason these legs are not the same length, it looks like. Why are they not the same length? This is the exact same figure parts. I mean, the feet here aren't, I mean, it's the same feet, it's the same everything, but why are they different heights? If you like watching videos where people make progress on stuff, this is probably not the right video for you, because I'm kind of doing backwards progress. I'm going to move this pelvis part here. Come on. There we go. I don't even know what body part this is from. And then you put these two together here, and they don't go together. So, you know, that's a bit of an issue here. Okay, so I took both pelvis pieces, and I gently sanded them down. Yeah, so after doing some gentle sanding down, the pelvis pieces to make them work. And so if optimism reigns supreme, we should be able to put this here and have the pelvis joints not be loose. If anything, the one on his right should be too tight, and that's good because that would mean I could remove the glue dots. On his left, I mean. Yeah, it's... What in the world was that? Oh, that's that. Okay, so I could probably take this off here now to sort of make it more secure for the other pelvis. And now it should be secure if I can get this leg in here. And then we just have to super glue these together. And it doesn't close on the bottom. That's okay. But yeah, you can see based on the way I have them just here holding it in place. The legs do move. They're not loose. They're very smooth, which is really good. Why are these legs different height? That's like the biggest problem out of all of this. If the legs were the same height, that'd be like one of the biggest problems solved, but the legs are not even height. Why? What can I do about that? Can I like sand down the leg? What can I even do? All right, so the mystery continues to unfold here. If you line the feet up at the very bottom right here, you can see that this other foot is bigger if we line them up. Why is his left foot on this side? Why is his left foot bigger? Let's line up the toe right there. Why is that foot bigger? That's the whole problem here. I sanded the foot down. The foot's bigger. Why? That's stupid, Hasbro. Okay, as far as this goes, I don't really know what to say here. This is something that is completely out of my control. I sanded down the foot like crazy. But that's something that what? That's so dumb. This custom is not going to work because the legs are not the same size. Or, I don't really know what to do. That's the problem. Alright, so I might have to do some sacrificing here. And I have the infamous, Carnage from, what's this, Ultimate Green Gun Build-A-Figure Wave? And, I don't think I've ever chopped this open. And I use this to make a custom, I don't even know who it was, Riot? I think it was Riot. You can tell this video was not planned out at all. Okay, and I'm going to chop this open. I'm going to see if I can steal the rotation joint here without chopping off my own finger. Alright, we can tear this apart here. You know, this Bucky cap has been through infinite damage. And I think I have cut it open because there's glue dots on it. This Bucky cap has been through... I'm going to take that piece too. It's been through infinite damage just because I don't care about Bucky caps, so someone's got to suffer. And then I can attach that part somewhere else, and then we can have some rotations here. The question is, how are we going to do that? And the answer is, I have no idea, dude. Okay, we're going to do some more self-destructive damage here. Well, not self-destructive, but we're gonna cut these parts off here. Then we're gonna drill a hole in this, a big enough hole, so I can stick this in the groove right there. So I can stick it in here and get that to fit in there. Then I'm gonna have to find some way to attach that part here. So I'm gonna drill a hole. I'm gonna do that off... Oh dear, I just threw the piece. I'm gonna do that off camera so I don't risk destroying something. Alright, one bloody finger and drilled through hand later, and we're doing fine. Because I'm a genius, I put the drill going the wrong direction, so I managed to, like, on my finger. But yeah, I managed to put the piece here, and it works. So now I just got to find a way to... How am I supposed to put that in there? That's going to be the next part of this process. Alright, so after doing some stuff, now it spins. The question is, how am I supposed to... What kind of maneuvers am I supposed to do to get this piece to be compatible with that part? I could drill a hole in this thing, put that piece, attach this up in here, and then, you know, should I risk that? I'm going to risk it. It doesn't, the hole's too big. Okay, so that plan's ruined. This is not going good at all, guys. This is... Alright, so after, like, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15, I managed to attach the legs here to the pelvis. And they stay on pretty good. They do wiggle if you shake them, but if you don't shake them and you move them, they stay good at pretty much all the positions you want. Like doing the splits, kicking and stuff. The only problem is, because everything here sucks, the pelvis joint has a gap here, so what I'm going to do after the end is I'm going to super glue a piece of a dried paint, and I'm going to wrap it all the way around the back of the pelvis, and then add some clay sculpting and stuff to fill in the gap to make it not look like that. It probably won't come open, but at least it gives me some sort of relief to know that if the legs are crooked, that's not really my fault. It looks weird, but at least I know there's nothing I can... I mean, I can't sculpt new legs. I could probably do something to it, but... Like if I don't know, take a piece of cardboard here and make them stand on it. Boom, there you go. Same height now. I'm going to cut this piece to be... get rid of all the extra part, because the ends on the... Like, the parts on the end are not... They're not as thick as the inner parts. Take this here, I'm going to press that against it to make like an indent, and where that indent is, I'm going to cut it off because that's the closest to appropriate size. Cut off the ends here to make them sort of angled. I know that was off camera, I'm sorry, but you know, that's how it works. Throw that extra piece in the garbage, and then we could just super glue this on here, stretch it out, and then super glue that on there. This is just the test, so I'm not going to put a whole ton of super glue. I'm only going to put like one dab right here. I want to put as little as I possibly can. And if it doesn't work, I could just remove it. In case it doesn't work for some reason, I can just remove it and try again. That way I don't have to rip the entire thing off and have like a bunch of super glue residue on it. Super glue residue, that rhymed. Okay. It still rotates, so that's good. As long as we have the rotation part, as long as we don't ruin the rotation, that's good. Stick that on there, and then bang, there we go. We have that little nub right there. And if we push that on here, yeah, look at that. It rotates and it stays. It's just the top part does. I don't know how I'm supposed to get the next level of it to go on. Or the excess dried clay from the bottom part. That's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to cut off the excess dried paint from the bottom section of it. Because this part, like you saw, it has two joints. Or it's two rings, technically 3 rings. One ring right now is in the pelvis. One ring is the one you can see right there. And then the other ring is the one that has the dried paint on it. So the third ring is the one that's like the thickest out of both of these two here, or the second ring, the one divisible right now. That is the thickest out of this one and the one above it. So if I remove the dried paint from the thickest one, it should be as thin as the one on the top. And then yeah, you can see that sits down a little bit better. Legs are a little bit loose. That's unfortunate. So this, of course, is so obviously this is not done. I'm just kind of doing a super like sloppy, like I guess test of it sort of, because then for this I'll do it a little more precise and do it a little bit better. Yeah, my finger got stuck on there. This is just to sort of test this out and show you guys what my goal here is. Okay, and then we want to put some more super glue on here, which I'll just add some glue dots here, and then I'm going to sand this down to make it look not as apparent. Dried clay, or not dried clay, dried paint attachments. Like I added a bunch of dried paint to the bottom of the foot here. I tried putting some on the toe joint, but then I realized I probably might ruin the toe joint, so I decided not to. I sanded down this foot a lot, and when he stands up, you can see the pelvis joints are a lot closer in height. I feel like if anything, the one I feel like that one's, it's hard to tell. Like, yeah, the one on this side does look a bit higher. I don't know why it looks so blurry. I don't know, guys. I'm tired, and this is taking a lot out of me. I put some glue dots in the legs as well, which I didn't show because I've made a couple of videos showing off how to do that. They do kind of fall down a bit. If you move them up high enough, they stay in place. But from here, they do droop down a little bit. I just need to make sure the glue dot gets all stuck tight in there. Because the glue dot isn't all the way super secure inside. It makes the leg drop down a bit. Some legs, the glue dots just won't work if the joints are too loose. Or if, in this case, they don't work the best because, honestly, these parts aren't compatible. So it's not going to work as effectively as if you take, like, the figure's regular pelvis and the regular legs. But this one has, like Frankenstein parts, essentially. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, man, the ball joint leg broke. Like, it broke. The hip part, it was a disaster. Like, the leg ball joint broke. The peg on it broke. And then something in the pelvis broke too, so it was like complications. So I ended up having to do a bunch of stuff. But if you have in some kind of pose, like this angle to the side, some kind of like this, it doesn't look too bad. Having the improved ab crunch, having the arms out here like he's shooting some webs. Unfortunately, the tentacles are kind of dumb. There's not really much I could do with the tentacles without you making completely brand new tentacles. Like with Dr. Octopus, making custom tentacles is a lot simpler, but this thing, they don't just look like big, long tubes like Dr. Octopus's tentacles do. Like, for example, the custom, this Dr. Octopus here, with the custom bendy wire tentacles here, but these are like USB lights. It works good because his tentacles just look the same throughout. It's like tubes, kind of. Like tentacles, they don't have a unique pattern, but this thing, there's like design to it. It has like parts where there's specific hinges to it, where Dr. Octopus, he can bend the tentacles anywhere. But you have him in a pose like this, he doesn't look too bad. Let me know what you think about this custom. Let me know if you think it looks better than the first version. Obviously, once I paint it and do the finishing touches, it'll look significantly better. But that's all for this video. Let me know what you think about it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye!